Well, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fan. Today's daily recap is for Monday, November the 20th, 2023. Monday, November the 20th. Well, this was a definite nothing episode, y'all. Just, who cares? But let me get to the who cares. We've got Nina. Oh, she's just gets on my nerves. Chance, I don't want Chance. I want him to go corporate. Yeah, we all would like to go corporate. Well, not me, but we all would like to go corporate, right? Easier said than done. Chance has no skills. He would start in the mailroom anywhere else. But she ropes Jill into it and says, Chance is thinking of leaving the force and going corporate. And Jill was like, oh my goodness, that would be brilliant. So Jill offers him, requests for him to come work with her at Chancellor Winters. She would teach him the ropes in business. Now, mind you, Jill knows some of the ropes. She knows enough that there was a number of years where she ran Chancellor by herself. Okay, I give that to Jill. But really, she had Kane doing it. She had a lot of other people helping with Chancellor Winters, right? Because she always had to be in another state, another country. So he looked, he goes, but I'm not qualified. She goes, look, you have been around and hearing about the business all your life. I see potential. You have potential. It is your legacy, your grandfather's company and Catherine's company. Well, Catherine wasn't his grandmother, but she was gracious enough to treat him like family. And even Jill's son, Philip, Catherine treated him like family too because it was her late husband's child. And back in ancient days, they would call him the B word child, right? I don't say it because I don't curse on these recaps, right? But anyway, um, so you've been around business all heard it all your life. Okay, newsflash, everybody in Young and the Restless land. Did Nina raise Chance in Genoa City? Absolutely not. She did not. So Chance has not been around business or heard business talks at all to have absorbed anything whatsoever. But see, this is a situation where Jill will want to bring him in and make him a COC something in that company. Unbelievable. Now, Chance is a good guy, and I'm not saying he can't learn, but that's all he would be doing is learning. And Devon and Lily would be looking at him like they were looking at Nate. When you get some business experience under your belt, then we could talk. But look, the actress Chantal playing Lily, she's going to be going on maternity leave real soon. So I have a feeling that's when they're going to put Chance in, or Jill's going to try to push for Chance to sit in Lily's seat, who's highly unqualified. Nate would be more qualified than Chance, right? And she would just say, "Oh, I'm going to guide him over teleconferencing on what to do." We'll see how they're going to do it, but yeah, Lily should be going on maternity leave really, really soon. So he said he would think about it, but Nina nagged him the whole episode. And finally, at the end, he says, look, I'll call grandmother and see what she's talking about. What terms is she talking about? So when she called, it went to voicemail because Jill was in a meeting. She was in a meeting because, Devon went and spoke to Tucker for the umpteenth time. I'm so sick of him meeting this man, only to tell him, you lied to me to my face, and this is the last time you're going to lie to me to my face. He said that 10 last times that Tucker lied to him in his face, and I don't want nothing to do with you. He said that 10 times ago, and he still has something to do with Tucker. So that was the same old song, and Tucker just sits there, right? So anyway, he decides he comes up while he's talking to Abby. He goes and cries on Abby's shoulder. He comes up with a plan and he calls the family together. So while Jill was sitting there with Nina and Chance, she got a text and she goes, Devon needs to see us all. I'm going to have to go. So he tells them the plan off screen. We don't get to hear what his plan is. And they're like, oh, it's risky. Yeah, it could be risky, but Jill says, it's risky and I don't know if it'll work. And so Devon says, what else do we have? We don't have anything else. Tucker keeps lying to our face and we don't have a clue what he's up to. If this works, we'll know and we'll be able to stop him. So then she goes, Lily, what do you think? She goes, well, I agree, it is risky. But she said, but we have nothing else. We just have nothing else. So it's worth a shot. So anyway, the doorbell rings and Devon says, hey, are we in agreement? Jill and Lily says, yes. Jill says, yes. He goes and opens the door and it's Mamie and Nate. Initially, I thought they were going to have Nate be the mole, which would have worked because he just got unjustly fired from Newman. He's got an axe to grind. They don't know that he's building bridges with his actual family. See, he could have come in and pretended to be working on Tucker's side, although that would have definitely made Audra uneasy because realize Nate was Audra's boss. And Audra's being offered the top position at Jabot when Tucker gets it. So she would automatically feel threatened if Nate came to work with them. But anyway, as it turns out, he wants Mamie to be the one that tries to find out what Tucker is up to. And so Jill says, yeah, since you were in cahoots with Tucker, what? To boot me out of the company. And Mamie just looked at her. She goes, we already know, Mamie, so don't deny that's what you wanted to do. And Mamie says, look, I have made my position really clear what I want to do, and that's bring this family together. And I have told Tucker that I don't want nothing to do with him after I have heard about the things he has done and the way he's treated people. You know, you could trust me. She looked at Devon. You all could trust me because I just want to bring this family together. But they let that go too easy. Because wait a minute, okay, but maybe let's hold up. Let's take a step back. You've told Tucker you don't want anything to do with him. Tell us, what was the nature of your relationship with Tucker? What was the plan? Because when they said, you know, Tucker has invested large sums into your company, Nate is like, so wait. And he looks at Mamie, were you just using me? And she goes, no, I was not. You know how Mamie acts. I am trying to reunite this family, and that hasn't changed. So no, guess what? You're not paying for your hiding the fact. How are you gonna be mad at Tucker and want to cut Tucker out when Mamie was doing the same thing? Instead of her giving the money for this, Mamie was taking the money for this. Tucker was giving, she was taking. They both were equally as deceitful, right? Equally as deceitful. Victor Newman never would have sold his stake in Chancellor Winters if he knew Tucker McCall was involved. So anyway, they're looking, and you know they're gonna go with Mamie. And Tucker is gonna eat her up and spit her out. Mamie has nothing on Tucker. So then we have Ashley. She sees, you know, when Devon walks away, he's visibly upset. And he walks by her and gives her a kiss on the cheek. And she goes, oh, how are you? Oh, he goes, he had to go. So she thought, wow. So she goes over to the table and tells Tucker, what have you done now? And he just looks at her. She goes, Devon is visibly upset as he's leaving. You must have done something. So, of course, Tucker lies. No, he found out some rumor that's not true, that Phyllis probably planted. He's lying. Tucker does. He cannot tell the truth to save his life. He just can't. It's in his DNA to lie, period. And so anyway, he goes, but this is a family matter that doesn't concern you. She goes, I beg to differ because we have family in common. He loves my daughter and we share a grandson. So if that don't make us, there's nothing more connecting than that. And he just looks at her, and then she's doing snarky comments to him, like, you were a horrible partner, you know, a horrible this, that, and the other, horrible father, horrible partner, our marriage is gone, horrible father, look at Devon, don't want to have nothing to do with you. The only thing you were, Tucker, is a good grandfather. And he just looks at her, and she goes, and I'm willing to help bridge the gap between you and Devon. And he goes, why would you be willing to do that? She said, because ultimately, I do honestly believe you want to reconnect with your son or connect with your son and your grandson. And Devon may be angry, but he needs a relationship with his father. I firmly believe that. And I will be willing to help facilitate that. And he goes, you have no pull with Devon. He goes, she says, but I got pull with my daughter. Who has Devon's ear? So he goes, why would you do that? Why? He goes, because everyone would be happier, Tucker. And we would be able to, and I want to why would you do that for me? Because I don't want us to have animosity sitting across the dinner table. At any minute, anything could explode and erupt. We should be able to sit down and be civil towards one another. So he says something, and she stands up. She goes, that's it. I'm leaving because look, my relationship with everybody's fine. And so he said, yep, that's it. There she goes. Anytime there's anything that anybody disagrees with her, she up and she runs. So actually stops and she sits and she puts her purse on the table. She goes, let me tell you something, Tucker. And she says whatever she says to him. And he's like, fine. I will agree to you helping bridge the gap between me and Devon. And she says, good. And then he says something and she's snarking back at him and she kind of hits him with her purse as she walks off. Right? Oh, because he goes, but that doesn't mean that I forgive you. And that doesn't mean we're friends. And she goes, Tucker, I don't need or want your friendship, nor do I need or want your forgiveness. And that's what she takes. And Tucker, isn't it so interesting? He responds to Ashley when she's at the strict turn away face from him. If she were Tucker taking all his punches and, oh, Tucker, let's just please be friends, he would be just as mean and nasty as he could be. But by her, like, please, I could care less about you. And he goes, if I don't tell the truth, this was all an act anyway. You didn't care about me. And she just looked at him and she's like, I ain't even gonna go there with you on that. You think what you want. And it was true. It was true. So now she goes, let's see, who do we have? She goes home and she's in the end of a family, of Kyle BSing his father. Jack comes down, Diane comes down first and says, look, have you given some thought to what I said? And he goes, yeah, I have. He goes, but I still don't like the fact that, what it would do to Dad. I want to tell the truth. I want to be honest with him. So she goes, look, I've already told you the advantages of what our plan would do. And Jack would be through the moon and have so much respect. So he was saying something, and Jack came down and says, "You don't want Dad to do what? What are you talking about?" So then he flips the switch to the lie that he has. Diane, pointed out that he's come to the realization that he's been very unfair to Jack, that he has put him in a very difficult situation because she goes, I felt it, I did feel it, entitled, and that I deserved it, the position. And he goes, but I have really needed some time to step away and evaluate what I was demanding you to do, and it was unfair to you. And Mom was just pointing out a lot of that. And he goes, you know what? I've taken what Billy has said to heart, that I'm entitled, and what was it? Entitled and something else, arrogant. And she goes, "Oop, he said that to you? I didn't know Billy said." He goes, Mom, Billy was right. Okay. So he tells Jack, I will accept the job as COO if it's still on the table. Wow, Jack is just so gullible. What? Shovel some more in here, son. My mouth is wide open. Right? So Diana's looking like, oh, we hadn't discussed that because I was sending you back as a plant. Wait a minute. Diane's still trying to figure out how the plan now is going to work with what she wants Kyle to do. Because this will put a monkey wrench now. If we'll see how Kyle's going to try to work that out, right? I guess really he'd be more useful to um Audra and Tucker is if he was working for Jabot. But the way he needs to go about it is tell Audra, no, I miss you. Um, I'm going to be COO of Jabot, but we make good footsie buddies, and I don't want to give that up. And then Audra will see that as, oh, I could get information out of him, right? So Ashley comes home as everybody's, Jack and Kyle are hugging it out, and they really dyed Jack's hair dark in the back. Look at that's him hugging Kyle, and it looks like somebody else is hugging Kyle, right? Somebody Kyle's age. So Ashley congratulates Kyle for accepting, the job. And, she's talking to Jack about she just came from talking to Tucker, and he and Devon have blown up. And, because they found out it's Chancellor Tucker is after, he's working with Mamie. And Jack is like, why would Mamie work with the likes of Tucker McCall? Are you sure? And Ashley goes, yes, they have the evidence. And so she goes, Jack is like, no, that just doesn't sound like Mamie. And Ashley said, yes, it does. You know how much Mamie hates and despises Jill. So, yes, I could see Mamie doing that. But Mamie is trying to bring the family closer together. Tucker could, she goes, and you know what, Jack? Tucker does want a relationship with his son. So she's saying, and I've agreed to help facilitate that. You what? Oh, Jack went on his, oh, I forbid. No, you're not going. She goes, no, Jack, see, there you go. You can't tell me what to do. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. She goes, and I'm going to tell you, you put out that article on Tucker, that is going to be a mistake. Me being able to work the angle that I'm working, I'm going to be closer to Tucker, not closer that I'm getting involved with Tucker, but I'm going to be able to monitor things a little more closely. And that's the best way to go. Because if you blow this out, put that information out there, and it barely scorches Tucker, you have nothing. And now you've got all his wrath and vengeance. And so Diana's like, I kind of agree with Ashley. And Kyle said, me too, Dad. So he goes, how Jack is. Well, fine. But I'm going to be watching and Ash, yada, yada, yada. Right? So that's where that stands. Kyle's going to try to be some double agent on Diane's behalf. and it's going to backfire on both of them. And I can't wait for it to backfire on both of them. So that's all that happened on The Young and the Restless. Let's go to Comment Corner. Comment Corner. LaShawn says, Nina's too pushy and bossy. Nina wants everybody to agree with her. Um, she lit up. Sharon's not happy. And that's talking about Summer. She's not happy. Abby needs to mind her own business. Um, but yeah, because see, Summer's trying to use Abby as a patsy. I hate how Nikki treats Adam, but I don't think, wait, but I don't like this. It, I wouldn't trust Nate to save my life. He committed Victor so the brat can get her job back. Yep, that is so true. And then Anita has these all happy faces because it is so true. That is why Nate did it. And Victoria knows that's why Nate did it. But that's it, everybody. That's it for The Young and the Restless for Monday, November the 20th, 2023.